Okay, so now we're moving on into the observe section, and the observe section is actually where we're going to read the document. I am going to look at those two questions there, and it says it's asking me what are the main ideas of the document, and which two ideas do I think are important. So knowing that I have to find the main idea, I am going to start coding as I read for the 5 W's. I'm going to star the main who or what, and collect the rest of the W's by highlighting. So here we go. How do you show that the lives of people 10,000 years ago got better when they abandoned hunting and gathering for farming? Are 20th century hunter-gatherers really worse off than farmers? Scattered throughout the world, several dozen groups of so-called primitive people, like the Kalahari Bushmen, continue to support themselves that way. Okay, so I feel like the main who, because they've talked about them a couple times, are hunter-gatherers. Okay, I'm gonna keep going. It turns out that these people have plenty of leisure time. Okay, leisure time. Leisure is another word for like free time or time to relax and do something that you enjoy. Sleep a good deal and work less hard than their farming neighbors. Okay, so I hear him talking about a group of hunter-gatherers in today's world, and he's saying the main what is that they have a lot of free time. They actually don't have this hard lifestyle that people may think. For instance, the average time devoted each week to obtaining food is only 12 to 19 hours for one group of Bushmen, 14 hours or less for the Hadza nomads of Tanzania. One Bushman, when asked why he hadn't emulated neighboring tribes by adopting agriculture, replied, "Why should we, when there are so many mongongo nuts in the world?" All right, I'm not really going to code the rest of that paragraph because those are specific examples, and I know that because he uses words like for instance, and he gives me specific data. So I'm going to keep on going. While farmers concentrate on high carbohydrate crops like rice and potatoes, the mix of wild plants and animals in the diets of surviving hunter-gatherers provides more protein and a better balance of other nutrients. Okay, so that seems like important. So that kind of tells me like another what about them. So it says that they're eating the wild plants and animals, and that's part of their diet, and it's actually creating a better, my highlighter, a better balance of other nutrients. Sorry, my mouse is going crazy. In one study, the Bushmen's average daily food intake during a month when food was plentiful was 2,140 calories and 93 grams of protein. This is considerably greater than the recommended daily allowance for people of their size. It's almost impossible to imagine that Bushmen, who eat 75 or so wild plants, could die of starvation the way hundreds of thousands of Irish farmers and their families did during the potato famine of the 1840s. Okay, so it looks like that's just more evidence to prove this idea that like their diet is more nutritious than the diets of ourselves, people who live in areas where we depend on farming to get our food. So now I'm going back to my observe document, right? And I'm trying to pull out the main ideas from what I just read. And the two ideas that I'm going to identify are that hunter-gatherer groups from paragraph 1 have a large amount of time to enjoy life. And now I'm going to use the main idea from paragraph 2. Another main idea is that hunter-gatherer diets are healthier than that of farming societies' diets. Okay, those seem to be like the two main things that those two paragraphs are talking about. Then the second document's asking me what two ideas do I think are important? Well, it's super convenient that there's really only 2 paragraphs and 2 big ideas presented, so I already answered. 2 ideas I think are important are that hunter-gatherers have a high-quality lifestyle and diet. And that is the O section.